Welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast, where I unleash the truth about all things pets. My research and anecdotal evidence, paired with expert interviews, will help your pet thrive. I'm here to answer questions, share insights, and spread awareness about what's really going on in the world of pets. I'm Toni Unleashed with 25 years of experience in the pet space. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, we are here today to talk about our experience in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We attempted a podcast episode while we were there, but our internet was pretty poor. So we are home. We've been home for a few days now, and we are going to share with you what we saw, what we did, how we changed, what more we want to do, and
how people can help.
How people can help. And fortunately, Em wrote us out a little outline here, so we'll be somewhat organized because it was pretty emotional for both of us. So to stay like focused and on topic and about the whole experience will be challenging. So first, our general experience. What inspired us both to volunteer with Save a Friend Puerto Rico? And how did you get connected with the organization? So, Em, you were the first to get connected with the organization. So, how did you meet Marla, the founder?
I met her. Let me grab him. I adopted this little guy from Marla. So a friend was down there in Puerto Rico, and I said, if you find a little dog that needs a home, I will adopt it. And then that same week, Kendrick, this little guy, was thrown out of a car in front of Marla on the street. And so he has it's hard to see. Oh, he has a leg. Yeah, you can see right there.
Yeah.
So that's road burn from being thrown out in the street. So he stayed with Marla, and she fostered him for a couple of weeks before I could, got him neutered and wait until his leg healed. And during that time, I was literally messaging her and asking about him every day, and we built a friendship. And then also another woman here in Pittsburgh was already getting involved with Marla, Lynn from Hickory Creek Kennels. So we just kind of all got together and just really started doing the work and adopting dogs out.
What year was that?
I think 2018, 2019-ish.
Okay.
And
so
then
Kenny was literally thrown out of a vehicle.
Yeah.
And Marla was literally behind them and witnessed the whole thing.
Yeah. So the car, it was right before the shelter, and there was a car in front of her. And this is the story I remember, started slowing down, and she was like, this is weird. And then Kendrick gets thrown out of the window. And then it took her a day to catch him.
Wow.
So then from there, we did a lot of adoption events at Toni's store when she owned Healthy Pet Products. And then a lot of the returns or donated stuff would be sent to Puerto Rico from Healthy Pet Products. So a lot of the donations were sent over there. Money was raised. That's how it all got started. And then you really met Marla at Global.
I met Marla one time before that.
Yeah, was that at Billy's thing?
I met Marla. We had an event with Billy from Green Juju.
Yeah.
At Healthy Pet Products in North Hills, and I met her then.
Yeah.
And that was 2024?
Yeah.
Was that the year before or 2023 maybe?
2023 or 20. I think 2023.
Yeah. And then, yes, I saw her at Global this year, and then she came and recorded a podcast at the house. So and I guess from knowing when you went, I kept saying to you, we kept talking about going to Puerto Rico and doing the work, because you said, it was, they needed so much help. And so we finally did it.
And the big thing, I think the huge connection is a huge connection is us all aligning with our morals and ethics, especially when it comes to nutrition and health and wellness for dogs. And I think that a lot of rescues just don't have the resources or the capacity to care or know about that stuff. And Marla is someone who's just like very serious about nutrition and wellness and care for dogs. And I think that aligned really well with who we are as well and why that naturally just clicked and took off.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, to give you an example with these, um, I mean, when we asked her what we needed her to bring, what she needed us to bring over, she
Yeah.
said, a Whole Foods daily multi.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was all she needed. I mean, we took more than that. We took food and treats and towels and crate pads and all kinds of stuff. But then Rebecca from In Clover donated 3 jars of a whole food supplement.
Hmm.
So um, her daily multi.
So
Uh,
I'm going to ask you the next question. What was your first impression when you arrived and kind of your impression throughout the trip?
well, to be honest with you, I guess I kind of knew what to expect. I've been to India, I've
Yeah.
been to Mexico, I've been to, some very poor areas of the world. But I think I expected, because we even said it when we drove from the airport to the Airbnb where we were staying at first. Like when we first started driving around, we were expecting to see like more dogs on on the highway and on the street.
Yeah.
So, because when you hear 650,000 estimated stray dogs and a million stray cats,
Yeah.
you're landing thinking they're going to be everywhere, but it's a big island. So, and
Well, and we found they come out at night, not during the day.
yes, especially the cats.
Yeah.
Yes, they come out at night. And so the amount of poverty, I guess I anticipated that.
The infrastructure was rough to see.
Yeah, the fact that the shelter didn't have electricity,
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate that. I don't think I anticipated the building operating on one hose bib
Right.
and the grounds not being cut and the roof being so bad and it needing so much work. I didn't anticipate all of that,
Right. Right.
at least not to the condition that it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
I mean, you were there how many years ago? Is it the same, better,
I
worse?
mean, I thought it was worse, to be honest, but I mean, I was younger when I went and it was a long time ago. And I think I remember things a little bit differently um, but I remember San Juan being a little bit nicer and being a lot more shopping opportunities. I remember it being a little bit, I think I remember it being a little bit better, to be honest.
Huh.
Um, I was a little surprised especially when we were walking through San Juan, that it didn't feel as like put together as I remember it being. But what
Yeah.
can you do?
Yeah.
Um, I think though, I also thought we were going to see like more loose dogs, which we saw later in our neighborhood. But seeing them all come out more at night and more at the beach, kind of put things into perspective too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you see horses
Oh, the horses were rough. Yeah.
and cows like randomly walking all over the place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was hard to see the horses, especially there was one that was really thin.
Yeah.
Um, and but and they don't belong to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's 3 in Marla's neighborhood that they're trying to corral, but they need to fence part of their property so that they can have a horse pasture.
Yeah.
Like the things that Marla and Eli do are just unbelievable, above and beyond what most human beings would ever do.
So, with that being said, describe take this next question and break it down into two pieces. Describe what Marla and Eli do on a day-to-day base, for rescue, and then what we did and the similarities and differences.
So Marla and Eli have six dogs of their own and one
Yeah.
cat. And then they have an area of their yard that is kennels under tents, they're sheltered and everything. So they have three puppies from a litter that another rescue reached out to Marla and said, "Hey, can you help?" Right? These three puppies are were abandoned at 3 weeks old. They had mange and then they got parvo. There were originally four puppies, one didn't survive. So they take care of their own seven animals. And then while they're doing that, they take care of these three puppies. And then they go down to the shelter and work at the shelter a couple of days a week. But they always bring at least one dog up to their house so
That's
that
so
dog can socialize. That currently is Socks. He's a 1 year old awesome dog. And Socks plays with the puppies and all of Marla and Eli's dogs. Um, they take them to the vet. They just do everything.
and Marla gets a lot of texts and calls from other people needing help on the island too. So what she's also really working on is establishing, like, sharing her protocol with other people and saying, we can help you if you follow our protocol and do X, Y, and Z, which is vaccines, vetting, socialization, and get working them into a crate. And if they can do those things, then we'll work on finding them homes and placement for them.
Yeah, and there is no typical day. Like every day, you never know what the day is going to entail. You can try and plan all you want. We thought we had a plan, but you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we were joking like every day felt like 3 days. We'd
Every
start
day literally felt like 3 days.
it was just like you'd start doing one thing, then you pivot and you do another, and then you pivot again and do something else. I think the best example of that is the day we did the photo shoot, the adoption event, and then went to the beach.
Yeah.
Or went to try to catch those dogs. And we started off really early in the morning taking five dogs to the beach for a professional shoot to use on social media. And then we had to give everyone baths. And then we took them all to the Margaritaville Hotel in Rio Mar to do an impromptu adoption event for all of the guests there. And then after that, we dropped all the puppies off. And then we went to Los Machos Beach to try to catch some dogs that were dumped there and feed them and give them next guard.
So Los Machos Beach is known for where there's a lot of strays.
Yeah.
Now, we were under the impression it was hundreds, right?
Yeah.
We probably saw a dozen.
Yeah.
And that was probably, I would say, the most surreal part of the trip, maybe,
Yeah.
because these dogs are just completely on their own. They kind of come out of the brush
And
as it gets in packs as it gets close to dusk. So there was a pack of four in one area, a, a couple of pairs in some other areas. And we saw two little black and white dogs, and they were different. They were frantically, like spastically running all over the place,
mhm,
whereas these other stray dogs have what I call a stray gait. They just
mhm.
kind of trot. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they just have this kind of casual trot to them.
Yeah.
And Marla said when dogs are frantically running like that, they've recently been dumped.
Yeah.
And she truly thinks that those two black and white dogs literally were dumped within hours of us being there.
Yeah.
So, so we fed the dogs. We tried to hang out as long as we could to try to get them. And thanks to Point Breeze Animal Hospital and Pets After Dark, they gave us NexGard and Bravecto to take with us. So we were able to give those because you can tell some of them have mange.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very likely that they have worms and
Yeah.
fleas and ticks and all of the above. It's just what stray
Yeah.
dogs live with. So do you want to talk about trying to catch the black and white
Yeah.
dog?
Yeah. So there that the two little dogs that we try to catch, one seemed well, it's actually also before I start with that story, it's also really interesting how some of the dogs are so smart and have adapted to the beach life. Like there's this little chihuahua that would eat out of our hand in my hand, but like I could not catch him. Um, so they adapt to their surroundings, and it is interesting to see the ones that kind of are okay and the ones that maybe aren't okay as well. And I think our rescue and the rescue efforts down there, you kind of have to be pick and choose your battles. You know, what dogs do you just give NexGard and Bravecto to and try to trap and release, and what dogs can you save and rehome? And so that's what led us to really putting our efforts into catching those two dogs that we thought were just dumped, because if they had been living in a home and they haven't adapted to like beach life or stray life yet, then they could really be rehabilitated and rehomed. So they were the one was what they came in a pair, and one almost looked like a whippet, I would say,
Yeah.
and was like staying kind of close and getting close and then kind of jumping off and jumping away, but they were staying in this fenced in enclosure where there were like construction equipment behind
Yeah.
it and cameras surrounding it to protect the construction equipment, because they're building like a fishing dock, I think, down the street. um and we got really close because we kind of kept trying to build out these contraptions where we would use an
X-Pen.
X pen, yeah, around the opening of the fenced in area and try to lure them in with food and then trap them in. And that got us made us some progress. But what really did it was this one little dog loved the canned food. So we literally saw it go around the car. I saw it pick up the canned food and carry it over to another spot and start eating out of it. And I'm like recording all of this on the phone,
And
like,
you,
oh,
me, and Marla are all stationed in different
yeah,
areas. Like
yes,
I was by the X pen, ready to close the X pen if he came out that way.
hmm
Marla was kind of between both of us
hmm
to help wherever needed. And then
hmm
you were on the other side, kind
yeah,
of hiding in the bushes a little bit, right?
yeah. Yeah, and I saw the dog was eating this can of food, and I was behind it, and I was filming it, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? This dog's staying still. Like, I can go try to catch this dog." And I'm new to this. Like, I don't know how to dog rescue. Like, I know how to foster and do adoption applications, whatever, but I don't know how to like boots on the ground rescue. And so, I grabbed the dog, which is not the right thing to do, I have learned. And like I traumatized this poor thing, and I really think I'm saving this dog's life. And I
Yeah.
grab the dog and it's biting me, and I get bitten the it's flailing everywhere and it's biting me, and I'm like, we've got a biter. It's it bit my hand. I got bit in the face, and I'm holding on to it for dear life. And Marla comes at me with a crate, and we throw it in the crate. And as this is all happening, I'm like, oh my God, no one's gonna want to bite her. Like I have three dogs. Like, I was like, I just rescued this dog and it's a bad dog. Like I'm stuck with it.
That's what was going through your mind.
That was going. God damn it, I was like, look, I can't in good conscience adopt out a biter. I was like, I'm gonna have to keep this dog. Um, and then we throw it in the crate, and Marla's in the process of closing the
Okay.
crate, and then she sees my face bleeding. I mean,
Uh-huh.
dramatic, but I did have some blood.
Your hand was bleeding and your face was bleeding, and she
Yeah.
looked up at you and said, "Are you okay?" And then the dog busted through.
the dog busted through
and got loose.
and got loose. And then we could not find it from there. Like they
No.
knew
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that was lesson learned on how not to
So,
rescue
you
dogs.
know, Marla said you focus on the ones that want to come to you. I remember her saying that. Do you remember her saying that?
Mhm.
And we might get blasted for that, but to your point with these dogs have lives on the beach, they've adapted,
Yeah,
if we can, we don't necessarily have to home every single one of them, but if we can trap, spay, and neuter and release them, then we're reducing the problem long term
right,
because not all of these dogs can be homed. We can't bring all of these dogs back to the United States. It's just
right.
not.
And
Uh,
some of them aren't going to be able to
be
adjust.
homed. Yes.
Like think
Yes.
about it. I mean, these are dogs like for example, our neighbors at our Airbnb, our neighbors had a lot of dogs that were just running on the beach and it's like they're fed every day. They
Yeah.
have a home base, but yeah, they run free on the beach and they seem really happy. They're all at healthy weights. Like that then the rescue efforts go at that point to go to NextGuard, Bravecto, and spaying and neutering to clean up the neighborhoods
Yeah.
because I could not imagine taking those dogs who I saw like these two beautiful big black dogs running on the beach shore and having all of this freedom and then having a place where they can go to and eat every day and then putting them in a crate, putting them in a shelter, putting them in a foster home where they need to where they're put on a leash and they're kept, they're restrained and they're just not dogs. They're dogs that now are used to not being restrained.
Yeah. What was the most heartbreaking thing you witnessed while working with the beach dogs?
For me, it was walking away from the black dog at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, because that, like we were saying before, all of those dogs, like you can tell an extent of them are happy. This dog just looked really defeated and it had a lot of battle wounds and it was alone. Like a lot of them you see in packs. And so seeing them in packs and seeing them at a healthy weight and seeing them running around happy and like kind of have it down when they go out to pick up the scraps of the food and you see other people going to feed them makes you feel a little bit better. But this black dog was really hard. I think I like
Well,
cried
and
all the way home.
I didn't even realize you were in the back seat crying.
Yeah, I was like
He
bawling.
he was eating out of your hand,
Yeah, he was
right? And
eating
you
out
were
of my
able to pet
hand,
him.
and I was petting him, and then traffic was coming, like, there's oncoming traffic, so I was able to, like, hold him back, and he leaned up right next to me and, like, let him pet me, so
So explain why we couldn't, since he was in your arms, basically, explain to everyone why we couldn't grab him and just take him.
there's no room, a couple of things, there's no room, so for dogs like that too, you need for all dogs, you need quarantine space, for them to get vetted and to go through vaccines and to do fecal testing before they can be integrated with other dogs. So there's a quarantine, which is very common and typical in any
Oh
shelter
yeah,
environment, humane
yeah.
animal rescues, all of that. And he's a bigger dog and he's all black. So one, those dogs are really hard to move. And two, finding fosters in the States for them is really hard as well. Um, so, I mean, my thought was if Marla ever goes back, and my house is open, I would, do whatever I could to bring him to my house, even though my dogs don't necessarily do well with big dogs, you know. But yes, that black dog was the hardest one for me. What was the hardest one for you? The tumor one?
What was the hardest one? The most emotional one? Yeah, the four kind of were hard for me. The one with the tumors, we could have easily gotten him, and he was hanging out with like a yellow lab, and then there were two puppies.
Well, that's also hard. Like, how do you take one away from their pack? It throws off so much.
Yeah.
It's mentally and emotionally. challenging. Like, what if we
Yeah.
had caught like those two, like the scruffy dog and the chihuahua? What if I had caught the chihuahua and then just left the scruffy dog by itself?
Oh yeah, that's you can't. You
They're
can't.
pack animals.
That you can't. And you could tell the bigger scruffy dog was a little reliant on the little
You
dog.
could totally tell. Yeah. Follow
Uh,
lead.
I
Yeah.
I I guess just the yeah, the four, I don't know. I guess the whole thing, the realization of knowing you can't really like I don't think Marla doesn't spend her time catching dogs,
Right.
you
Right.
know? And if that's the approach, you would have to be there like
Constantly.
every night,
Right.
like all the time, feeding and leaving water, feeding and leaving water, and just getting them used to you being around and your scent. And then you'd have to, if you were able to catch them, then you need a place for quarantine, and then you have to vet them, and then you
Yeah.
have, you know, either release them, do a behavioral, and either release them or
Right.
potentially adopt them and get them into fosters.
Well, exactly. And I don't know if you picked up on this too, but like it's interesting how Marla kind of hinted at there being kind of almost seems like for every little community or area, there's like a lead point of contact that kind of knows what's going on. Like she had mentioned at Los Machos speech, there was a woman who was named Maggie there. And then there was a man, a local man feeding cats. And like sometimes they have a better understanding of like when that dog came there, what's going on with this dog, what the pack dynamic is like. But still, even though it's still amazing that they do that, it's not fixing the problem. What needs to be fixed is producing more puppies and more dogs,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
So really the only way to fix the long-term problem is to trap, spay, and neuter.
Yeah. Which, we were thinking really really starts more so in neighborhoods like the one we were staying in, where there's like a house that holds and houses a lot of dogs that they all come back to at the end of the day, but they're not getting vetted, they're not getting next guard, they're not getting Bravecto, they're not getting spayed and neutered, so they leave during the day, who knows doing what, and then come back. So, targeting those neighborhoods is probably the most ideal so that we're able to catch the dogs, be there, take them all at once so they're all together and release them back to the same spot. And then starting that way. And that should help, ideally fix the bigger, start working on fixing the bigger overall
But
problem.
first we need to set up a spay neuter clinic, or at least have a vet ready to, and then we need a bilingual person
Yeah.
to start going door to door
Yep.
and giving them a piece of paper saying, here, we can take your dog or your cat for to be spayed and neutered. We'll bring them back, or you can take them. We're paying for it. Like it's a whole thing. We saw a woman in the alley behind us. You could tell she was taking care of the neighborhood cats. She had a little bit of an outdoor kitchen, and they were all like around
Mhm.
moms, kittens, like, and she's just probably overwhelmed by everything that she has going on, but she seemed like so happy too.
Yeah. And doesn't speak English. There's a lot of people there who don't speak English.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. And honestly, you have to accept that it's a different culture. So to
Yeah.
them, this is not bad.
Right. 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 I
So,
think they
and
acknowledge that the animal problem is bad, but, like, the way that they care for the animals that they have is not bad.
right,
Yeah,
right. Because, a lot of them are poor and don't have the money to take them to the vet. And,
right.
so it's a very eye-opening experience.
Well, let's talk about the dog we did save.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So Marla has developed a really good relationship with one of the resorts down there, Margaritaville, Lamar. What's it called?
Rio Mar.
Margaritaville, Rio Mar.
It's a Wyndham property.
It's a Wyndham property. So we stayed there for 2 nights, and there was a family visiting there in April, and there was a beach dog they fell in love with. They named him Bodie. They wanted to get him. They couldn't catch him. We actually have a picture of the dad trying to catch him. But we
Yeah.
have so then the general manager had that family's information, right? And they said if you ever catch him, we want him, which is wild. It's just wild, right? But they really fell in love with this dog. So Marla told us this story, right?
No, what happened was like when we were at the adoption event, she was talking to a young woman and they had mentioned seeing a dog with a collar on. And Marla's like asking if it was Brody.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Because Marla called him Brody, but the family calls him Bodie.
Exactly. Yep.
So someone there was a sighting of him, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
there was a sighting of him. So Marla was kind of excited and thought, well, maybe we'll see him. So we had gotten checked in that day, and I don't even remember what we did that day, but I know we were tired. So we showered, we went down to the beach bar, we got our drinks, and we were sitting at a table at the beach bar, and literally within seconds of us sitting down, right? I see a dog come out of the mangroves on the beach and cross and go to the bar and look up at a couple that is sitting at the bar. And I said, "Oh my God, Marla, is that him?" And she turns and it was him. Were you there right then? You were there.
No, what had you said I was there for that part, and then and then I ran to go get the leash, thinking that we would need that to catch the dog. And I didn't realize you, yeah. So I left at that moment to go to the car to get a slip lead
Yes.
and food.
So while Emily left, Marla and I just kind of wandered over and we started talking to the couple at the bar. And then Marla sits down, and then I think I sat down. And the next thing I know, Marla reaches out and grabs his collar. And he's like rearing his head. And I look at Marla and I'm like, Marla, is he going to bite? And she said, nah, he would have bit me by now if he's going to bite. Swear to
Yeah,
God.
that's classic Marla.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And so we held him, and then you got back. And then what? We
And
said,
then I saw you guys on the ground with him. Oh yeah, and then we get the collar, I get the slip lead, not knowing, and then you guys were like, "Well, we should double collar him." Can you go back to get a clip collar, clip
and the
lead?
kennel.
And then we called Eli to go get the kennel
Oh,
too.
we didn't even have a kennel. Plus, Eli
Yeah.
had to drive the kennel down.
Yeah, Eli had to drive the kennel down. So we called Eli to get the kennel, and then I had to go get another leash and I think food because I didn't realize that you guys had caught him. And so then I go down to the front desk and I'm like, Eli's coming with the crate. I'll be back. I'm going to go get something, but just know someone will need a bellhop to take the crate down and take the dog up. And then I go down and get the leash. I come back. So now he's double leashed because he was caught before and escaped.
Yes.
And then he was double leashed. And Eli comes to the hotel from his house, which is like 20 minutes away,
Yeah.
brings us the kennel. We put the kennel on the bellhop thing, take it down, load the dog up in the kennel with this double leash. Like, I mean, he looked like a prisoner with we're all holding on to him. Put him in the crate and then bellhop him up to our room. Yeah.
And he was completely shut down
Oh
emotionally.
my God. I've never seen a dog so incredibly shut down and frozen and not,
It was heartbreaking.
it was heartbreaking. The videos of you guys on when his head is in the corner of the wall
Yeah.
and he won't look at anybody, he won't do anything. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So, he stayed in your room that night. He
Yeah.
slept in a little cubby, like there was an opening in the nightstand, and he ended up sleeping there, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
on a hard surface.
Yeah. And then he did eat a little bit of food in the morning, I think, right?
He ate some Gouda cheese at night, and I tried to slip in some pills. He will not. We tried to give him, oh, I think we were able to give him some trazodone to help him just relax and
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
And then he peed in the morning and ate.
And
Yeah.
then we took him to the vet.
Well, we realized he doesn't walk on a leash. He freezes.
Yes, he does freeze on a leash. I forgot about
Yes.
that. Yeah. But the next day we took him to the vet
Hmm.
and he tested positive for heartworm.
Hmm.
And then Marla, as we were at the beach the night prior, she let the family know.
Yep. Yep.
She
Yep.
texted the family and let them know. So
And they were so excited. So excited.
they were so excited. They couldn't believe it. Which, a lot of people go back home and get on with their lives and forget everything.
Yeah.
And this family kept in touch with the general manager to see if anyone had found him, and they really just had a connection with this dog.
Right.
So he tested heartworm positive, and the vet put him on meds, but we were still able to transport him. He got back to the States within days. That was on Sunday, and I think Marla was able to get him on a flight to Newark on Friday. And the
Right.
family drove from Vermont all the way to Newark Airport to pick him up.
Hmm.
So, and we have pictures of them driving home with him. We've already seen pictures of him being very happy. He gets along with their other dog. They're playing.
That was awesome. I mean, that's going to help him so much. Having
He-
another dog there who's already
Yeah,
adjusted
yeah, yeah.
is going to be huge.
He looked very, very, very happy.
I mean, that was the most personality we've seen, even leading up to all of the pictures we've gotten, is him playing with the dog and like finally relaxing and sleeping in a dog bed was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And that's our happiest story.
Yeah.
The meet and greet we did at the resort was successful. We talked to a lot of people. We had Socks with us. Socks is that 1-year-old male that is still at the shelter, and then we had the 3 puppies.
Right.
And we did have a family interested in Grayson, the gray puppy, and they filled out the paperwork and everything. Very excited, very nice family, but they did back out once they got home.
So I talked to Marla too, and last night, and she said that she got an email from the husband, and the husband said, he's like, I have to write this because my wife is just in tears and an absolute disaster. Um, and really wanted the puppy. So we reached out. There was another family at the resort who also was interested in the puppy, and Marla finally, Lisa found their information, and they reached out
Did.
to they want the puppy still. Yep.
The the couple from Cleveland wants Grayson.
Well, we don't know yet. They just reached out to let him know that he's still available.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And if not, he'll come here to my house.
okay. So we brought home 2 dogs.
Yeah.
We brought home Bongo, which is a Chihuahua mix. He was found on a 6-lane highway.
Yep.
An American man that's friends with Marla and Eli
Yeah,
saw
Nestor. Yeah.
Nestor, saw him on the
Mhm.
highway and stopped traffic. Didn't he say he stopped
He turned
traffic?
his car. Yeah, and said he stopped traffic, and luckily the dog just got in his arms. Yeah.
And Bongo had an adopter,
Yeah.
which is why we brought him home. And
Hmm.
then Bolt, the white puppy that Emily has, she is fostering her.
Hmm.
But we have potentially 2 applications on her.
Hmm.
And
Hopefully.
then on July 24th, the 2 other puppies are coming,
Hmm.
Grayson and Binky. And then
That name Pinky is so bad.
terrible. It's
Yeah.
terrible. Maybe call him Bink.
Yeah.
Can't we just change it?
Well, it just gets hard
Make
because
it
then
work.
like all the paperwork and all his vet
Yeah.
records and then on the
All right.
website. So that's like what sucks because then I
Yeah.
we change it on social media and then people go to fill out an application and the name doesn't show up.
Got it.
Maybe we'll
So,
do a petition to adopt him and change his name because it's the it's
yes.
in the history of names.
Um, so as soon as we get those two puppies placed, we'll be able to get Socks over here. And we
Yeah.
do have a foster home for Socks.
Yep.
And he's a good dog, 1 year old,
Active,
active.
loyal, smart,
He
chill.
he really took care of those puppies. He loves those
Yeah,
puppies.
he loves this puppy.
So, we think he's okay with cats too. Might have just might be a smidge dog selective. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think so. I just think it's with circumstances
Yeah, I think so
with
too.
everything on the beach.
Um,
Um,
I also think that mentioning flight angels is important too and how people can help.
yes, yes.
So there's a lot of resources to be a flight angel, which means that if you travel from wherever you live and you go on vacation to Puerto Rico, you can't adopt a dog and maybe you can't help. So especially if you're in like New York, Philly, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Columbus, um, Chicago, and you're flying and you're going on vacation to Puerto Rico, and you want to help, offering to be a flight angel means that you meet a rescue at the hotel, or sorry, at the airport. They pay for the transportation and they set it all up through your airline, and you transport the dog in a carrier from Puerto Rico to whatever your state you're in. And then someone on the other side, either the foster person or the rescue connection, will meet you and take the dog off your hands. Depending on the flight, sometimes we'll ask if the flight angel can take the dog overnight, depending on, when they get in.
Hmm.
But I mean, it literally saves so many lives. So
Yeah,
many. And you usually get stuck with puppies or little dogs because those are the only ones that can fit in the carrier.
yeah, yeah.
And it's not bad. I mean, we had a really good experience with it.
We basically did it. Nestor met us at the airport. You know, we got the dog. He gave us everything we needed and then jumped on the plane and Marla
Yeah.
had all the details worked out and it was easy.
And we have Benadryl, so we gave them Benadryl too to help. We did get delayed for like 3 hours on the
Mhm.
plane.
Those poor
So
dogs.
yeah, they got stuck for about 3 hours in an airplane in their carrier, but they did fine.
They did really well. I was
Yeah.
amazed. We were
Yeah.
we were so worried about them, but
Yeah.
they were awesome. They were
What
awesome.
is happening now?
Bolt!
Oh, she did. She's
She jumped onto the chair and then onto the table.
yeah.
Okay, so what did we learn from Marla and the team about the realities of rescue? Who is Marla and what impact does she have on your experience?
I think we covered
All
a lot.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
think
think
it's important to mention that Marla and Eli, founders of Save a Friend Puerto Rico, moved to Puerto Rico like 10 years ago and
yeah,
saw how horrible it is, how bad the stray issue was, and they just gradually started helping dogs and taking dogs in, and then it turned into a
right.
legitimate 501(c)(3).
Right.
It's good to mention too that they are in their early 70s.
Yeah.
So, I cannot believe how much that woman does in a day.
Yeah. I mean, in her I mean, it's insane. Yeah. Everything
E-
that she does and
And
why she
Eli
does it.
helps her,
Yeah.
um, but has a health condition that has limited how much he can help her, and she's going to have to help him, which is
Yeah.
going to limit how much, animal rescue she can do. But they have these plans at their property. They want to add two kennels on so that they have a quarantine area. Like they just don't stop.
Right.
They
Right.
just don't stop.
Right. They don't. It's insane. I mean, that's why it all felt like 3 days, is we were going at Marla's pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they really don't stop. We really need help with fundraising, events, kind of like getting the word out there. We really need help with Foster homes would help Marla a lot. Anybody on island would be a huge help and a
Oh,
huge resource.
huge.
And anybody who's interested in going with us or helping, like, please reach out.
So we're going back in February,
Yeah.
February of 2026. Emily has a wedding to go to, so we're just going to make a trip of it and go back and help more and try and do more. And fortunately, a trainer friend of ours is very interested in going. I don't know yet if she can go at that time. I have to tell her those dates.
Okay.
And then we shall see, but who knows? We might have a camera crew following us around.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, comment on this, like us, comment on the page, let us know your thoughts, what you think. Like, if you like hearing stories like this, if you want to learn more, if you want to help, if you want to foster, if you want to see more pictures, let us know what you want to see and help, that'll, because we could do a whole other episode with going into more detail about certain situations too.
Yeah. And it's Save a Friend PR.
Hmm.
And we really do want your feedback. We really do want you to share this episode
Yeah.
with all of your friends and family. And we need as
Yep.
much help as we can get.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Sweet.
I think we covered it all. It's hard to cover it all, but
The questions actually really helped, and they led us to answer a lot of the questions.
yeah, we started
Everybody
talking
was
about it
laughing.
in Puerto Rico and recording it, and we were both so tired, but we're like, oh my God, we have to record this.
Yeah.
And then it didn't end up recording anyways. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So all right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Please share, rate us 5 stars, and follow Save a Friend PR.